Welcome to this, the thirdest ever episode of the Caravan Tour of Terror, where we journey around the world through the magic portal of horrific entertainment. As always, I'm joined by my map holder, General Dog's Body, Ali. Say hello, Ali.
Hello, Ali.
Classic. This week we're in sunny Wales, specifically Llanberis Touring Park, near the foot of the mighty Mount Snowdon in Snowdonia. Look around, Ali.
Wow, it's snowy.
I don't actually think it is.
No?
It's dramatic, sure. Maybe
dramatic.
The peaks are snowy. I'm not actually sure. You've already raised a question. Why is it called Snowdon? Why is the place called Snowdonia? Let's go with it's snowy. Yeah. Why are we here?
Snowy.
Why are we here?
We're here because...
No, you don't know why we're here.
Why are we here?
This is near the Glenronwy Quarries. Now, just a slight note. If I say anything, if I mispronounce Welsh words, I'm sorry, but I don't know. So this is near the Glenronwy Quarries, which is the filming location for Michael Mann's slightly bonkers, is that fair to say? Slightly bonkers, 1983 gothic horror film, The Keep. Now, for the first time, we're visiting a place that masqueraded as another location in the actual film. So the Keep's not actually set in Wales. The intimidating stone walls of the quarries we're standing in for the Carpathian Alps in Romania. Okay, so that's our setting. Ali, can I ask you to summarize this movie's plot and say, jolly good luck doing so?
Yeah, this one was not as easy as...
I fucking bet it wasn't.
The last few ones to have a clear idea of what the movie was about, because even as I was watching it, I hadn't a fucking clue.
Well, we demand a succinct plot summary. We want it to be intelligible, and we want it to be efficient. Go!
Okie doke. So, the movie's set during the Second World War, just following the German invasion of the Soviet Union. A Nazi platoon comes to a citadel in Romania. Weirdly, I actually have no idea what the town's called. Do they ever name the town? I don't think they do. So unnamed citadel.
I can't remember if they do either. I think they name the
think they do.
They name the they're guarding the Dinu mountain pass.
Yes, yeah, they're guarding the Dinu mountain pass.
I don't know if the town ever gets the honor of a name in the film that I watch.
The film that you watched?
Yeah, that is actually an important point, which I'll come to later.
Yes. So this citadel is very special to the people of this town, and it is protected by a local religious figure. Don't really know if he's
priest
specifically. Yeah, I don't know if he's what denomination he is.
I think he's
I'm
a
just
priest.
Say religious.
Oh, okay,
sure.
Fine. I think you see crucifixes later in that brief shot. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm leading us astray. I think he's a priest.
You are. So the local religious figure objects to the Nazis taking over this citadel, claiming that no one should go in it. You know, it's for the safety of everyone. But they're Nazis. They don't give a shit. They're going to do what they want.
They're very greedy Nazis.
They're very greedy Nazis. So, led by Captain Vorman, they take over the citadel, and Captain Vorman is actually not as plundery and robby as his...
Yeah, Captain Vorman is Jürgen Prochnow. Yeah, I don't think you've seen Das Boot, but in Das Boot, he was kind of a similar character. He's like a German army man who's not actually a Nazi, but he's fighting for the Germans in World War II. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that comes into it a bit later. But yeah, he's kind of one of the heroes, really. So well,
let's just put him as one of the less bad Nazis.
It's nicer than Gabriel Byrne, Jesus.
Hold the phone. You can't just throw in that Gabriel Byrne comes in as a Nazi. So during the night, several soldiers are killed, which the initial horror moment of these soldiers being killed, the music in it is so off.
Hey, it's Tangerine Dream.
We will, again, another point we'll get to later. But the music in this scene just seems so out of place. I'm not saying that it does in every single moment of this movie, but especially in this first initial horror moment.
Yeah.
It's just this weird synth pop song.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Well, yeah. So, not knowing why the soldiers are being slayed, assuming that it is the local townspeople.
Partisans. Which I'm a bit ignorant, but I'm assuming resistance to the German army. So
yeah. So because of these deaths, Sturmbannführer, Gabriel
Byrne,
is sent to keep the situation under control.
He does more than that.
Means necessary.
Yeah. Comes in and just lines them against the wall and shoots them.
Yep. Pretty common practice for them Nazis.
And Jürgen Prochno's character is like, don't do that.
Yeah,
there's
he's
no partisans
like, no.
here. He sticks up for them because he's a hero.
Yeah, so villagers are rounded up by Gabriel, and another odd scene where it's so quiet when these people are being rounded up and murdered.
Yeah.
No one seems to react to anything.
I think the audio job on this film is famously really bad because we'll get to all that.
So some of the foot soldiers start looting the citadel, at which point the local Father Fonescu, as is his actual name. I should probably just stop calling him the religious figure. Father Fonescu appeals to the insane Nazi Gabriel Byrne that, these shouldn't be destroyed, these shouldn't be taken, you shouldn't be removing anything of value or blah 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 from the citadel. And to be fair, Gabriel Byrne listens. I don't know why he listens, but he's like, yeah, you fuckers, stop looting this citadel.
Yeah. We should say that the soldiers are all drawn in by the citadel's got loads of they're nickel crucifix. Well, they're not crucifixes. They're almost
crosses.
Almost crosses, yeah, but the top's kind of cut off, so it's more like a T-shape with a little dome on top. But then soldiers find one that's silver and they get killed. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, that's why they're like, oh, there's probably more gold inside. Or they're obsessed with. Not gold. There's more silver. They're obsessed with finding silver in this place.
Yeah, they really are, and it is very much a case of Father Fonescu says, "Don't touch the crosses." Next scene, they touch the crosses. So, unsurprisingly, touching the crosses leads to some bad stuff. Yeah. And this is where the movie goes from being a Nazi movie in Romania to what the fuck is happening as a strange, evil. Let's say gas for the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely gaseous at first. Yeah.
Gaseous, yes. A gaseous entity is released.
Yeah.
Awoken as a.
That's 6 1/2 dozen the other. I think we're both right.
At which point we cut to Scott Glenn sitting up, right in bed with glowing eyes.
So just hard cut. And then
cut, and then cuts away.
Yeah, there's some weird particle effects down near his crotch thigh area that just kind of wisps out of existence. And that's it. That's cool.
Mysterious messages start getting plastered across the walls of the citadel. And...
graffiti, but in an unknown language.
Yeah. I like the idea of a gaseous entity just graffitiing a place.
Yeah, it's basically the equivalent of Down with Thatcher, but it's just get out, just go away. But in an old language that no one knows, but the priest.
Not no one.
Yeah, okay, yeah, not no one, but no one close, no one nearby. But the priest knows it's something nearby. Like that.
Yeah, and the priest knows of one man. Who might be able to decipher this mysterious message. And that man is Romanian Jew Ian McKellen.
Looking old, which I find really weird. Looking kind of like he does now. But 40 years ago. But there's a reason for that. But at first I was like, huh. I was kind of looking forward to seeing young Ian McKellen. He just looks exactly the same. That sounds
really
exactly
does.
the same, pretty much.
We'll get into that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go to the concentration camp where Professor Kuza, Ian McKellen, is being kept along with his daughter Eva.
You don't see much of that camp.
No, you don't. It just seems like a bunch of sad people sitting on benches, and I'm pretty sure that's not what concentration camps were.
In a studio lot.
Yeah. So they bring him in. He says, well, you're going to bring my daughter if you're bringing me.
And the Nazis say, okay, I guess we will.
Oh, darn.
How about we fucking shoot her if you don't come with us now?
Yeah, you've got us over a barrel. So yeah, they bring him to the Citadel. They get him to start working on deciphering this, on translating this.
Yeah.
While this is happening, his daughter Eva, who is just kind of about the Citadel.
Yeah, she's wandering around.
Yeah.
Getting lunch.
Yeah. And she gets assaulted by two Einsatzkommandos, two members of Gabriel Byrne's unit.
Yeah.
At which point the gaseous entity decides to step in.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. Floating red eyes and head with loads of just smoke, but
that hates Nazis.
Yeah, but
that hates Nazis.
The effects kind of played in reverse, so it looks like the gas is going into it. I don't know. It looks peculiar.
As does much of this movie. So the gaseous entity
blows their fucking heads up.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It blows their fucking heads up and then goes to Professor Kuza and cures him of his disease.
Yeah.
That makes him look like a slightly younger McKellen.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out that he had a disease, that a skin disease, and then when he's healed by the entity, he kind of becomes a bit younger looking, but he's still got the really baggy eyes, so he still looks quite old.
Yeah, he does look. Well, I think he is meant to be an old, like,
so he's
an old dude. So
I
kind of get it.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because his accent goes from. I feel that when he's under the effects of his disease, his Romanian accent sounds like a gruff American.
Yeah, he's definitely doing. Yeah, he's doing gruffer because he's ill. I don't know. It doesn't
and
really
then
make much sense.
Then when he's cured,
he's been rejuvenated, and his voice is younger.
But still not Romanian.
No, Lord no. I mean, honestly, sometimes it was just Gandalf. Honestly. And that's not his accent either, though, I don't think. That's his impression of J.R.R. Tolkien's accent. But for some reason, I just heard Gandalf half the time. Honestly.
So the professor is obviously delighted at both his daughter being saved and him no longer having a disease, and begins to work with the entity. Revealed to be named Molasar.
Yeah.
Radu Molasar.
I don't think it's actually Radu in the film. I think it's only ever Molasar in the film that we watched. But does his daughter not confront him and say, how could you be I said, his daughter, how could you be helping this monster? And he's like, the real monsters, Gabriel Byrne and all those lads.
Exactly. So he begins to work with the monster, trying to get these talismans to be removed from the keep, and that to allow Molasar to escape.
Yeah.
And
the crosses. Yeah. Oh no! Wait, no. The crosses do keep him in, but then there's a specific other thing. There's a specific talisman
that will if it gets removed, the Molasar can escape.
Yeah, exactly.
So Scott Glenn, after having a very weird morning with his particle penis and glowing eyes, he senses Molasar's presence and heads to near the Romanian village. I don't know if it's in the Romanian village.
I think it is, but he doesn't go near the Citadel at first.
Yeah, exactly. Because it just seems this little B&B he stays in.
Yeah, exactly.
That looks nothing like anything else in the movie. And we also find his name is Glaken.
What
a name.
Full name? I don't think it's mentioned in the movie.
I don't think it's mentioned, but his full name is Glaken Trismegistus.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Describe Scott Glenn's accent.
I'd rather not, to be honest.
I think it's just Scott Glenn's accent.
It is. It's just Scott Glenn.
Howdy, y'all. My
Yeah.
name's Glaken Trismegistus.
And I'm Romanian.
I think.
I don't think he's actually meant to be Romanian.
No.
I think he's just meant to be.
Yeah, the location where you see him it's pretty badass. He rides off on a motorcycle after you see him waking up and stuff. I think that's Greece. I don't know if it's standing in for a specific place or if it's just Greece anyway. Do you know what I mean? But I think it was filmed in Greece.
Ava is taken to this. And this is the bit where I started really losing.
Ava instantly falls in love with him.
No, first of all, why did they meet? Why did they ever meet? Like, it just seems like they're just thrown into a room together.
Oh yeah. She wants a room in the B&B. Probably 'cause she's just been almost raped by soldiers, so she doesn't want to stay there anymore. And he wants a room, and he's like, "Is this the only room?" No, I'm not going to do the accent anymore.
Yeah, please.
Is this the? It's terrible. Is this the only room that overlooks the Citadel? And the innkeeper's like, "Yep," but she's got it, and he's like, "Fuck her, I've got it now." But then
he does say fuck her.
Yeah.
Because immediately the two meet, and she just falls in love with them.
yeah, the first thing he does is he's rude, and he's like, "I'm staying here regardless." And then she's
like, okay.
I'm in love with him, and his weird eyes, which are contact lenses, to make them look really weirdly blue.
Yeah. So they, I mean, they go for it.
Yeah, they go for it.
Yep.
There's a important moment in the bedroom with the mirror
Yeah, go on.
where I just wondered. I didn't know. I can't remember how telegraphed it is, or if I just noticed it, because it's quite hard for him to pay attention to when it stops trying to make sense. But where she's like cuddling up to him, and then in the mirror, he has no reflection.
Oh yeah.
Yes, remember that?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah.
That's why I wrote. What is it? Scott Glenn is a vampire.
Yes, which he is, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, exactly. So Molisar's working with the professor. The Nazis are just kind of doing their thing, and Glaken and Eva are having sex.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is where that's probably
This
the
is
last moment.
That's Act 2, I'd say, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And that is pretty much the last moment where anything makes sense in this movie. Also, I do love the fact that she's like, I want to be taken away from this citadel. I want to be removed and put somewhere safer. The B&B they're staying at is literally like 30 steps from the citadel. I honestly thought she was taken so far away, and then it cuts to the outside, and literally you can see them door to door. So the professor is not happy with Glaken because, one, he fucked his daughter.
Yeah.
And two, he's trying to fuck with his new demon friend.
Yeah.
So he's trying to have the stranger stopped, and meanwhile, Jurgen Prochnow and Gabriel Byrne are clashing. Jurgen Prochnow
He's
is
not-
very
yeah,
much he is a very much a just following orders Nazi. So Jurgen Prochnow goes on this tirade, and he, admonishes Gabriel Byrne for the really sadistic crimes that he does across the war, and he denounces the Nazis, and he, in a very, very, let's just say the metaphor out loud, he's like, the monster is the reflection of our evil. And Gabriel Byrne's like, cool, and kills him.
Yeah. Just
Yep.
yeah. Stabs him?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Don't, I think I had to watch that twice because I was like, wait, what? He's just dead. Oh,
Yeah, he's just dead.
he's just dead.
He's just dead.
Oh, but this is really confusing because then Gabriel Byrne goes outside and everyone's dead. And then
Everyone's dead.
I was really like, did I
Nope.
just have a micro nap? That's why I put it back, because I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I've missed something. I've missed a battle here.
Nope, you haven't. He just walks out and finds that Molisar's been on a little rampage.
Yeah. The audience didn't need to see that.
No, why would you want to see that?
Why would I want to see that monster run amok? It sounds boring.
Well, I think they blew all their budget on the two guys with their heads exploding. Professor McKellen
Yes.
takes the talisman at this point to remove it from the keep. At which point, I can't remember how, I just have it written down, is that Gabriel Byrne is killed. Because, yeah, the entire, like, citadel in town, after Gabriel Byrne comes out,
Yeah.
is, like, I was going to say, like a war zone.
Yeah, well, it kind of is. He just gets...
Yeah.
He just gets Molotov, doesn't he? He gets
he just
colored
gets-
lightning, I think. He gets
Yeah, it's kind of anticlimactic. It's just like...
ambiguous power. They don't do the headburst again.
No.
Which is a bit shit.
It's Gabriel Byrne. You don't remove Gabriel Byrne's head. So Eva, with her newfound love, Scott Glaken.
I remember Glaken Trismegistus.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
that. Yeah. She attempts to to stop her father from removing this talisman. You know, she understands that he's been taken in by its power and the kind of helplessness of his situation.
Oh yeah, we should say Molisar is kind of solidified by this point into a badass looking, big, huge
Yeah,
thing.
so as
Big hulking thing.
as the movie moves along and he kills more and more things, he gets more and more corporeal, up to this point where Kuza eventually says, "No, I'm not going to remove the talisman." And Molisar tries to get the professor to kill his daughter.
Yeah.
Aye,
That's when he's like, no!
Because she's trying to protect... Yes, and that is when he is full... like, that... I know you felt that you got a lot of Ian McKellen voice out of it. That is the only point where I was like, oh, Ian McKellen's here. No! And for his treachery, Molisar returns Ian McKellen back to his...
diseasedness.
enfeebled, diseased state. But don't worry, because Glaken's here to confront Molisar.
Where the fuck were you? Molisar's been killing loads of us. They were only Nazis.
Breakfast is included in the bed and breakfast. And what proceeds is not a battle.
No.
It is not a battle.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, they build this up like it's going to be this huge, like, epic lights and lightning battle. Nah, just Glaken turns into light.
Well, he's got a stick, and the talisman goes into the stick, and then the sides of the talisman fold down, and it looks really sci-fi at that point. And then
It really looks sci-fi.
shoots him with a stick, right? And then kind of fucks him back, and then he, as you say, turns into light and just becomes a wall, basically.
And then
no,
Molisar's...
and then it's got the best bit, because two things we forgot to mention, and you can forgive us. Number one, just before all the Nazis die, there's a shot of who is it? It's Eva goes to the father thingies. What's his name? Fornescue.
Fornescue?
Yeah, goes to his, I don't know if it's his church or his house, opened the door, and he's like killed a dog and is eating it or something. It's a really brief shot, but it's basically all the villagers are supposed to have gone kind of mad. So that the only sense you get of that is literally not even 10-second shot of, like, I had to rewind it, of like blood and maybe a dead furry animal. So that's brilliant. Love that bit. And then right at the end, what do we have? Freeze frame on Eva's face as she looks back. Oh, then the title. I was like,
so that is
it's the cheesiest shit ever.
They're kind of under Molisar's influence, the village people.
Well, allegedly. I mean, I had to plot summary this because I didn't have a clue what the fuck that priest shot. I was like, what? I was really lost there. I had to read up ahead of, like, after the fact what was going on there exactly.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Donald. I had to use my own notes in like 3 different like summaries of this movie to get an idea of what was happening most of the time. Glaken seals Molisar back away, and the villagers
sacrificing himself in the process.
I don't know.
Does he? In the cut of the film that we watched, yes, but we'll get onto that.
Well, I don't know if he necessarily sacrifices himself. He just turns into light. I don't know what the limit of his powers is. He might be a god and might just be back on his motorcycle.
True. It's definitely a downer ending.
Downer movie. The villagers escort Eva and Professor Kuza away, and Eva
Freeze frame.
looks back and freeze frame to end the movie.
Tangerine Dream.
Tangerine fucking dream.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie, which I've got to say is probably the quickest summary we've had so far. But fuck me, that's...
It's not a long movie.
It's not.
90 minutes.
Aye.
So, right.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I'll talk. So, the main set of the film was built in a disused quarry near where we are in Glenronwy Slate Quarry in North Wales. So, that was actually a bit of an ordeal for the production in a lot of ways. They had to clear it out because it was disused. So, it was, kind of in ruins at the bottom. Not in ruins, it was kind of like full of rubble and shit at the bottom. And then some of the stonework you see is like caverns, the actual natural caverns. But then obviously they built the village huts and stuff, and they built the facade. And the wooden bridge that goes into the citadel is still there to this day, apparently. Although I think most of the quarry is now, nature's reclaimed it, so you'd have to have a little mountaineering expedition to go down there and get it. But yeah, the location was shit because it rained a lot, which meant that it was just troublesome to film in those conditions. They managed to find some unexploded World War II ordnance that had been buried in the quarry after the war, which they had to get people in to remove safely. The cast and crew had to be lowered in, work all day, and then come up. So when it was raining and cold, that was shit anyway. Ian McKellen had to wear all that makeup to make himself look older, and for various production reasons they didn't really know what was going on day to day, so for 12 straight days he spent 5 hours in makeup, and then he was never called to work.
Oh my god.
And I think he might have been lowered in 5 hours of makeup just to hang around, so I think he was sent home because they thought he was actually going to break. When you look at the makeup, it's all right, but it's not exactly like bloody mask or something.
It's just a bit of makeup.
Quite subtle.
Yeah, I looked at this, like a bit of the production, filming.
Right, wait. We'll get onto that. Right, we'll get onto that. I think we should. First of all, we should say, did we like it?
Fuck no. Like,
I quite liked it.
Are you actually kidding? Are you actually kidding me?
Well, you're going to be annoyed with me because I think it's got...
If you say charm, charm, I'll kill you.
No. What I'm going to say is you should... I think everyone should watch this movie, but they should watch it before, after reading up about it, because it was honestly the most interesting film to read up about after we'd watched it. And even kind of before and during, because I had to wonder what the hell is going on. But it is a world-class director, Michael Mann.
Michael Mann.
Directed such films as Heat, Manhunter,
Collateral,
Miami Vice, TV, Andy Dillip TV show. Collateral, one of your favorite movies, right? You love that movie.
I love that movie.
So it's him, and he'd had a really good film before this, and really good work after this. So it's just the most interesting... there should be a book written about what the hell happened with this movie. So much went wrong. So much fucking went wrong. And also, he was kind of going totally mental as well, which we'll get into later. But I honestly think that it's just... I think everyone should watch this. It's so fucking interestingly weird. It really is. I like everything that went wrong, and the ideas in it are strange. It's all so strange and off-kilter and just kind of tilted slightly. The music is good but weird for this film. The casting is really interesting looking back at it, because you've got some
incredible actors.
Scott Glenn filmed this right after filming The Right Stuff, which I love. It's a great film about the space race. It's brilliant. It's probably his most well-known best role. And then he filmed this shit, I think the same year, with the fake contact lenses and Blake and Trismegistus. I think the monster's interesting. I don't know, I think some people don't like the way it looks. I do kind of like the way it looks. I was drawn to watching this movie because I saw a picture of the monster in its final form with the big huge thing, the glowing eyes. I thought, that is so weirdly cool. So I don't know, it's honestly...
This movie is based on a book.
Yeah.
So for me,
which we've not read.
No, of course not. I'm more interested in reading the book than ever seeing this movie again. I would watch a documentary about this. I would read fucking journals on this movie, but I honestly would be like, fucking don't watch this movie.
There is problems watching it as well in that it's not been picked up for DVD release. So I found a okay version on Prime, but I think it was 4:3, but it was a widescreen print. I don't know what they've done with it. It looks like it might have been VHS or maybe a video CD or something at some point. I don't know. So it's not easy to watch, and it's not easy to watch with any kind of clarity to it. But I don't know. It's just. Would I watch it again? No. But am I glad I watched it? Yeah. It's not funny bad. It's definitely not the kind of film that you invite friends around and laugh at it. It's not funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's got bad. Of course, it's got loads of bad bits, and it's overall not good. But it's just got a certain quality. Maybe it's because it's too fucking weird for its own.
It's fascinating. I will give you that. That it is.
There you go. So you like it?
No.
There's plenty of movies you don't find fascinating that are better than this.
Can I just point out that the only two movies I've seen Jürgen Prochnow in are this and Dune?
That is a sin.
Isn't it?
Jesus Christ.
One of the best actors in the world.
Oh,
but no,
God.
I'm just like, let's watch the shittest movies he's in.
Oh, Jesus. It's probably... Now, Dune's interesting because... I'm kind of glad I watched Dune as well, even though
Me
it's
too.
crap.
No, again, that's that one. I will say, that one is just. I mean, after watching Dune, I turned to you and said that is one of the worst movies I've ever seen on every level. And I stand
seen
by
this?
that. And I hadn't seen this.
But see, it's hard to describe. It could have been so good, and it's like they just dropped the ball all over the place enough to fuck it up.
Oh yeah.
They had Tangerine Dream, who've done shit. I mean, they've done a lot of work, but the score is good. But for this movie, no, it's weird. And then the acting talent is really good. For this movie, no, it's weird. It's just.
Can I just say, I do not think Ian McKellen is good in this movie at all. I think he is absolutely fucking garbage in this movie. I was trying so hard to be like, no, it's Ian McKellen. He is good. He is a great actor. Obviously, it's like, no, I couldn't. Like, by the end of the movie, I was just like, nah. Ian McKellen is bad in this movie.
He's better than Scott Glenn. Jesus, he doesn't try. He really doesn't try.
But he doesn't at all. And I feel that's partly the character.
Well, yeah, Glaken's supposed to be otherworldly, stoic, mysterious, but slapping some contact lenses on Scott Glenn and letting him just read the lines out, it just doesn't work at all.
Totally, absolutely. Just Ian McKellen's just so fucking bad.
I'm pretty sure after 15 minutes, I turned off a lot of my more discerning parts of my brain, and we're just like, let's just enjoy this for what it is, kind of thing. And see, I really like some of the Mossar effects in general. Some of them are really shit, but I just kind of like them. I don't know.
Again, it was made in 1983, which
I think even for the time it was probably not brilliant.
Best.
See if this had a proper Blu-ray release. I think it would cleaning up the image, make it look a lot better, and having it in the original aspect ratio. This was like 2:35:1. So this is like super widescreen.
Yeah,
and you can't fucking see any of it because it's not been released properly. Like, I see if this was released on Blu-ray, and if this was released director's cut, I'd watch it again. Either way. So I'd really look forward to doing that, because then I could be like, what the hell happened to this thing? But so yeah, my review is, it's not good.
No,
but it's definitely worth watching if you're interested in how films are made. I think I'm going to go with that because I'm interested. Yeah, I'm not like massive. I'm not a fucking film shit. I'm not massively interested in how films are made, but it's fun to read. Especially stories of troubled productions is really fun to read.
Yeah, I mean, this movie cost around $6 million to make, and I could not figure out where that budget went apart from Mossar. Like, it looks really low budget.
See, but I think that part of that is, the picture quality that's available.
That could be. That is fair. That could be.
I think they were going with the village is quite pale colors and it's quite light outside, and then the citadel is always really dark and moody and kind of blue black and misty. So, and I think that the village looks really bad now because it's quite a low quality image. I think it makes it look really televisual, but I think that's because all we've got is low quality like tapes that have then been. See, this is why I'd really want to see a Blu-ray cut just to see. I'd really want to. I'll buy it. I'll spend my good hard money on it.
Yeah, apparently you will. Yeah, it's just I feel that
hard earned money. I should have said.
Just throughout watching this movie, for me it was poorly lit. It does not use its sets well. The cinematography is all over the place.
Yeah. You're not going to get any arguments out of it.
I know, that's the weirdest part. Both in terms of like you've got a lot of the shots just it honestly looks like they're just shooting against a brick wall. And I know that obviously it's caverns and blah 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 blah, but literally just looks like they're shooting against rock rather than in these caverns and rooms.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, there might be sound stages, but I honestly think that if
the
we
entire
had the proper
thing
aspect,
looks...
if we had the proper aspect ratio, it might help that because you're missing a lot of the edge of the screen there.
Yeah, because I looked at this movie and was like, this just looks like it's on a stage, like a fucking Hollywood production lot that they've just built up.
Some of it was, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, original production lasted 13 weeks and reshoots.
Yeah.
Lasted another 9. So yeah, there was probably some.
I think if the transfer was better, you'd be able to. It was hard for me to really follow. I bet you could follow it better if you had a better transfer. If you had like better visual and audio quality, you could be able to pick out those moments as well. Of all right, this was reshot, or this was late. This was at the time. But it all looks really trash, so it's hard to fucking know.
And also, I did not like anyone in this movie. Anyone.
What the fuck is wrong with Jurgen Prochnow? He denounces the Nazis and he tries to defend the villagers and he says to Gabriel Byrne, we're evil, we're on the wrong side of this, all that shit. What's he done that's wrong? And he gets killed for it. He's trying to stand up for them.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So
now you're on my side.
What? This is a movie people should watch? Absolutely not. Yeah, at one point I wrote, I don't know who to root for. The demon, maybe? But not the Nazis. I had to write that. Not Nazis.
I was going to say, we didn't mention it, but Molasar, when he talks to Ian McKellen, first of all, he's like asking him, like, well, like, what year is this? What the hell's going on? And then Professor Kuza is explaining, Nazis and stuff. And Molasar's like, what, to my people? So he's like, he's kind of portrayed as like a defender of, kind of Romania, I guess. Well, it's not Romania, village, actually.
Or
it's actually Wallachia, isn't it? Because, we may as well just mention it. So it's kind of like a weird vampire thing because Glaken's not got a reflection and he's hinted at being immortal. And then Molasar is... He can't really be near crucifixes, but they're not really crucifixes, they're just weird crosses, and there's a silver cross and stuff, so it's kind of like and this is set in Transylvania. It's kind of hinted that the legend of these two beings is maybe where vampiric legend came from in a really weird way that's not really explored properly, but that's probably because this movie's cut to ribbons. So Molasar is initially kind of like the defender of Wallachia, and he says he's wanting to get out to kind of rid the world of Nazis. Apart from he asks Ian McKellen to kill his daughter, right? I don't know why he really wanted to ask that, but I don't know. See if Ian McKellen's character had a decision. No, I don't know if this was the real decision. And it was, if I kill my daughter, will you rid the world of Nazis? And Molasar, that's the offer Molasar was giving on the table. I'm just saying, I don't know why Molasar wanted his daughter to die so much, other than she was against him.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe that's literally it.
He shouldn't have said, kill her. He maybe should have said, subdue her. But then that led, Molasar's a weird
demon.
I don't know if he's evil or just vengeful.
See,
I mean, he's from a different time.
He's from
it's
a
almost
different time.
It's look. I'm just saying, it's almost like Old Testament.
He's not your slightly racist grandma.
No,
He's
I'm just saying it's like Old Testament stuff. You can't call God evil, can you? Ha! I've got you. You can. Yeah, I know. But like, I don't know. Apart from that, Molasar was just. He saved her from. It's just weird that he saved her from being raped at the beginning, and then she's like, "No, we can't let him." I don't know. It's because she wants Scott Glenn's dick, and Scott Glenn doesn't want him to. But Scott Glenn's a weird monstery man as well. Who the fuck knows if he's not evil? It's totally the only reason all this happens really is because Eva wants into his
Eva
pants.
is way too hung up on this one day romance that she the amount that she invests herself into this relationship with Glaken is unbelievable.
Right, this is kind of all over the place. Do you have any
is.
final
Like the
thoughts
movie.
about your personal opinions, and then we'll try and talk about the background stuff that we've already kind of talked about a bit because it's so hard not to.
I can see where you're coming from on your side of the, this is a fascinating movie that if you're really interested in production, you should watch.
Don't ask me to give it a score because I can't.
Oh yeah. You'd give it a 1 and a 10.
Yeah, I honestly don't. Yeah, it's meaningless. I honestly don't know how to score it.
Yeah, watchable, but not really. Exactly. This is such a bizarre movie.
Well, see, if you're not into any of that stuff, it's a 1. See,
yeah, if you're just looking for a good movie to watch, don't fucking watch this movie.
If you've listened to this and your first thought wasn't, I need to see exactly what's going on here, in an interesting way, it's a 1.
Yeah.
Stay far away.
Yeah.
If you're annoyed by not knowing what's happening in a film during or at the end, stay very far away.
If you like Ian McKellen, stay away.
I'd say if you like any of the actors in this film, probably stay away. I mean,
I will say Jurgen Prochnow probably gives the best performance out of all these people. Gabriel Byrne, I will slightly forgive because he is such a uber Nazi played by an Irishman. So do you know what I mean? There's only so much you can really do with that.
He's not doing his accent, but he's not doing the accents in this film are weird. Just in general,
the accents in this film are all over the place.
He's not.
Second thing I wrote was Germans sound German. This was before Gabriel Byrne arrived.
Yes.
Romanians do not sound Romanian.
Yeah, Father Franescu's American, right? I don't.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't trying, but then the foot soldiers are sounding German enough, I guess, to my ignorant ears.
Yeah, that was kind of what I got. Is they might have got a couple of.
The higher up the pay grade you are, the more do what you want, mate. You want to try it? Go for it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so it's just a bizarre movie that I cannot say I enjoyed at any point. I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty rough 90 minutes for me. But again, just it's that kind of staring at it, open mouth, going, "What in the hell is all of this?" Not just the story.
Yeah, that's what I did.
No, exactly. And I think we're on ever so slightly opposite sides of that. So yeah, it's a fucking mess. That's my last thought.
Yep. So, how did it become a fucking mess?
How did it
Let's
become a
start
fucking
trying
mess?
to dissect what the hell happened to this thing. So, the original cut of the film was 3.5 hours long. Funnily enough, that was not kept. So, oh god, I honestly don't know where to. So, during filming, Michael Mann didn't know what the hell he wanted to do. So, day by day, he'd be like, we'll do this. No, let's do this. Right, let's rewrite this dialogue. Let's change this bit. Let's do this bit. Then he might say, well, the light's quite nice here. Maybe we'll, have a we'll have a more positive or negative scene. It's actually quite a bright day. Let's have a nicer scene here or something like that. It's not. He basically approached the screenplay as, it's kind of like a rough guide for what we might do,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously it drove the rest of the production fucking bonkers because you can't come to work and not know if are you going to be in this scene?
Yeah.
What are your lines? I don't know. It's kind of a dreary day. Let's take those bits of dialogue out. And it's just, I don't know if he still does this now. I think he does kind of improvise a lot of his stuff, but it just did not fucking work for this at all in terms of But then, this is why I want to see the original cut. I would watch 3.5 hours of this film to know.
I'm way more interested in watching. This is the weirdest part about this. I am way more interested in watching the 3.5 hour movie than watching this garbage 90-minute piece of shit.
So, I mean, the stuff with Eva and Glaken, that's definitely cut down a lot. So maybe in the director's cut, she doesn't just immediately fall in love with him. I have no idea how she falls in love with him, particularly.
She meets him.
They gutted that out. They gutted that out. And then they obviously gutted shitloads out. The ending was totally up in the air for a long time about what he wanted to do. It depended on kind of budget and stuff and then technical issues. Visual effects supervisor, Wally Beavers, he'd put loads of work into this film. He'd filmed hours and hours of stunt footage for the big battle at the end, loads of effects and like elements of effects, so they weren't finished. So he shot little bits here, shot little bits there. And then he died 2 weeks into post-production. And he didn't write anything down.
Yeah.
And he didn't record anything. Yeah. No one knew what the fuck he was planning to do. All they had was raw footage that they couldn't use. Which is fucking... I mean... it was already a trouble production in terms of just the delays and the method of production, and then to lose this, they had to bring in other people. They had to just try and cobble together some kind of ending. It pushed back the production way back, which led to the budget ballooning. They had to get reshoots in, which led to the studio stepping in and being like, you've got to fucking just finish this shit, give it to us, and we're gonna chuck something out, basically. So I mean, the post-production was nearly twice as long as the original planned shoot.
Yeah.
Mann was having sets rebuilt. He was reshooting stuff. Then the producer said no. And then they wouldn't pay for the ending battle. So then that's when he had to kind of assemble the non-battle that we got, basically. And then so it's weird that after that, I don't know if he had the gall to turn in the 3.5 hour thing with the lack of special effects and the shit ending, but then they took one look and went, no fucking way. They just gutted the hell right out of it and chucked it into. I wonder. So getting obviously 3.5 hours is too long anyway. I wonder if they just did 90 minutes to try and maximize the amount of screenings they could get out of it because they knew it was going to be a horrendous failure, which it was, but maybe it wouldn't have been if they hadn't gutted it in the first place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it seems like a bad production that then got even worse because of studio interference.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I don't know what would have happened if Wally Beavers hadn't sadly died during post-production, because then they could have got it completed a bit more in time, but then he would still, I'm sure, have turned in a huge bloated mess of a film.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way. It's so strange, because they obviously cut it loads, but also I'm thinking, could you double the length of this film and add 30 minutes and there still be enough material there?
Yeah.
It just seems I have no idea.
Well, if you remember the scene of Ian McKellen taking the talisman out of the keep,
yeah,
you can see where the extra fucking 2 hours would come from, because my god, that one scene takes about 20 minutes. He had this 3 hour, and then they were like, fuck no, we'll give you 2. And then the 2 hour movie did not go down well with test audiences.
Yeah.
And then
they just got the hell out of it.
Yeah. Editing to sound mixing, everything kind of was interfered
with.
Yeah,
they brutally edited it down.
Yeah.
Leading to, I mean, yeah, it sometimes, the whole Eva thing doesn't make sense, really. The village going crazy barely makes sense, because all you get is Father Fornescue and a tiny, a really short shot of him maybe killing a dog, potentially. It's hard to see. So it's just... There's also... The issue with this film is... the issue with watching this film now is there's different versions floating about.
Yeah.
The one we've watched was the freeze frame ending. But there's other endings where it's so on IMDb. I'm calling out this on IMDb because I don't know if I believe it because it sounds so weird. But I'm just going to read it verbatim. A strangely edited version that appeared on Channel 39 in Houston, Texas around 1989 had a scene where Glaken is telling Eva that it has been so long that he couldn't remember what he looked like anymore. That version ended with Glaken alive at the bottom of the gorge, wounded after his battle with Molisar, crawling to the stream there and seeing his reflection.
Huh.
No, I mean it's unsourced. So somebody on the IMDb is claiming that this version aired in 1989 on Channel 39 specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck they would, but they probably did. Like, I don't know how many different versions of this film there are about. I want to see that version. Sounds interesting. So he might have given up his immortality at the end. Fair enough. That actually, I mean, it sounds plausible, like what he's said in terms of the plot. But
yeah. I mean, on the Wikipedia page, if you want to go down closer, like, quote unquote sources, it says part of the happy ending in which Eva goes into the keep and finds Glaken was used in 1980s TV versions of the film. So,
right, okay.
I mean,
that
could have literally been
sourced.
taken off. Yeah, that literally could have been taken
that
from
could have
IMDb.
been-
So I'm
yeah,
just saying
yeah.
that is another place where it talks about this. You know, the original happy ending and blah blah blah. It was cut out by Paramount.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
There's other deleted scenes, backstory, obviously. Actual explanation for why Eva and Glaken fall in love, as you would expect.
A scene showing Molisar killing all those German soldiers.
Does that actually exist?
Yeah,
Why would
yeah.
they not?
There's that. It's it does show it. It doesn't show it. It was filmed.
Yeah.
But guess why? Guess why it didn't get finished?
Why?
Beavers died. Rumor has it his last words were tapping his head and going, "Don't worry, Michael, it's all up here." And I mean, yeah, this movie does not use, like, Wales is a very lovely place. As look around you, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a bit. This is the most tenuous link, I'd say, to where we are.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't even use its location well.
I think it looks cool. All right, but agree, disagree.
Yeah,
I think. I think.
Considering I said that the whole thing to me looked like it was on a soundstage.
Yeah,
even the outdoors. Like, I'm even specifically talking about the outdoor scenes because I'm
was just
pretty
really
sure that
bad
some of the
set
indoor scenes.
construction and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't. I feel they could have used the landscapes of Wales way better than we're just going to really tightly film this quarry and go to Greece. Greece was filmed in Spain.
Oh, okay. So it's Greece then, right? Cool. I couldn't remember if it was.
It was. Greece.
It was, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. The writer of the novel that it was based on, he wrote a short story called Cuts, in which a writer puts a voodoo curse on a director who has mangled his work. What do you think he thought about The Keep by Michael Mann?
No, right. Fuck this 3-hour version. I'm reading Cuts. Oh, that sounds amazing.
In a 1983 interview, Michael Mann talked about the power of dreams and moving the Keep story out of the horror genre of the novel and into a dream reality. He felt it was not necessary to try and explain non-natural events or causes because they are states of mind in an expressionistic dream reality, which is what he was attempting to do with this film version.
What? That sounds like... See, do you remember in school when you didn't really know the answer to something because you hadn't really worked that hard on it or it had gone wrong? That sounds like what he's doing.
He called it... He also called it a fairy story for grown-ups. Fairy tales have the power of dreams from the outside. I have decided to stylize the art direction and photography extensively, but using realistic characterization and dialogue.
Michael, are you okay? What, Michael?
What the fuck?
It's definitely one of the most bizarre bad movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, I know. That's why I said
say
it.
bad. It's probably the most troubled production, right? I mean,
yeah.
even Waterworld had a
Yeah.
coherent beginning, middle, and end.
That movie's a fucking disaster.
And that was a fucking
that
disaster.
movie is...
I mean, this is probably...
And again, I understand the reasoning for it before you jumped down my throat. But that movie is like
I know.
a better movie, a better finished product. I'm not saying it's a better movie in the sense of like more enjoyable or blah blah blah, but it is a better finished product, a more cohesive piece.
Yeah. I mean, people complain about like the Blade Runner theatrical cut.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like I mean, this fucking thing. Must be the worst editing job by a producer, releasing company that I've ever seen. But that's only on the assumption that their uncut movie's better.
So
that's
the thing. Next time you have someone say, "Well, you've not really seen Blade Runner until you've seen the extra 4 minutes in the special edition," you go, "Yeah, I prefer the 3-hour version of The Keep." Oh, you don't know it? Oh, you must not really be into movies then.
But it looks like we're never going to get that.
No.
Because, well, competing reasons, and maybe two. Number one, Michael Mann maybe doesn't want it to be released, which I saw. But more legally, the soundtrack to Tangerine Dream was released in some kind of hellscape of legal issues, which means that they'll probably never ever be able to get a version of The Keep with the original soundtrack. Which, I mean, I'd watch it if they did Scrubs to it and just released it with some shit, not quite the soundtrack, just to see, I'm surprised that if it was just the soundtrack, I am surprised that they don't just do something to re-soundtrack it and shove it out there to make a little bit of money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just, from purely a business perspective, like, it's weird that they would just leave it. But they have, so far.
Yeah. We might quite rightly be the last people to watch this movie.
What do you mean? What?
It's going to be lost to time.
I honestly think that's also part of its charm. It's
it's hard to find.
Oh, well, yeah, it's like a lost artifact. I mean, Michael Mann has released bona fide classic movies.
Yeah, Donald. No one's arguing that Michael Mann is
all I'm saying is it's interesting that he has this blemish on his. I always like that. He's got his total blemish on his record.
Oh yeah,
and it's being buried.
Everyone should have a blemish on their record.
Are you trying to think of one? Quick, let's think of one. Shit.
June.
Oh God, yeah, that's the best one. There you go. You win. You win.
So you've heard what we think of the movie. Donald, do you want to hear what other people think of the movie?
I do, and I want to tell you one.
Oh! I'll give you one first, and then you can give me one, because this one is very much up your alley. This one is on IMDb from Tex Justice.
Tex like Texan or Tex like
like Tex. Yeah, Tex. Yeah, Tex.
Yeah.
Tex Justice. I hope that's his real name. Under the title DVD format. I saw this movie many years ago, and I really enjoyed it. So I have just one question. Why is this most excellent movie not on DVD? I have searched for it, and I can't find it on DVD anywhere.
Most excellent. Is that not from Bill and Ted?
Yeah, it really is. If there is any way that you can make this movie into DVD format, I, for one, would appreciate it. Don't know who the fuck he's talking to there.
Who's he asking?
The plot and storyline were very original for that time period, and the action and special effects were top notch. Lots of vampire movies have been made before this, but none can top this movie.
Wow.
I usually don't like World War II movies, but this movie was very enjoyable. Scott Glenn is also an excellent choice for the hero of this movie. He's really developed as an actor over the years.
Is this Scott Glenn's alternate account or something?
And I've seen most, if not all, of his movies. Bring this movie to DVD and make us all happy.
Hear, hear.
10 stars.
It's
10 out of 10.
Yeah, obviously. Barely a vampire story.
Yeah, I know.
Blink and you miss it, vampires.
I'm not gonna lie. Until you said it was a vampire, the only vampireness is just his reflection.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that I really that, and it's set in Romania.
I'll give you mine. Okay, but it's just a synopsis because the actual review was quite long. I didn't want to read it all.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Adam Smith of Empire magazine.
Okay.
This wasn't contemporaneous, obviously. I think this maybe was 20 years ago. The Keep wears its crap bits proudly on its sleeve. Its qualities are more hidden and emerge only once you've watched it, dismissed it, and then found that its atmosphere refuses to disperse. 5 stars.
What?
Back of the net. Yeah, 5-star review from Empire.
Empire?
This isn't even a fucking Marvel movie because they always give them an extra star.
Yeah.
And bloody.
Oh, is this 1983 Ian McKellen production not a Marvel movie? Well, Shane J on Rotten Tomatoes says, most of the time I had no idea what was going on. 2.5 stars. Chris B gave it 5 stars, saying, you need to watch this movie. It has music, special effects, and acting that you don't want to miss. Such a haunting, atmospheric movie. Incredible that people write it off. Most likely to its age.
Oh, Christ. What other films came out in 1983 that I bet people do not write off?
Oh my God. Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, Scarface was 83. That film that everyone's totally written off and has forgotten about.
Yeah, and Return of the Jedi. Lady B says, this movie has deep, deep flaws.
Yeah.
But mostly they are flaws of the 80s.
What? Cocaine everywhere. I mean, maybe. Our legal team would like to point out that was said in jest. Oh, dear. So, what else would you watch? Well, you like Collateral. I really like Manhunter, which is Michael Mann's. I think it's his next film after this, actually.
Yes,
so,
it was.
Interestingly, this film led to the creation of Miami Vice because he retreated to TV after that and made Miami Vice, made all the fucking money, and everyone was like, actually, you know what? We'll give you another chance. Here, have Manhunter.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably not fair. I mean, I think he co-write. I don't know. See, he's like writer, director, oftentimes producer, but sometimes it's a co-writer. And I wonder if the writing credits are that whole method where he kind of changes things on the fly on the day and stuff. So it's hard to know exactly how much of that kind of stuff he does. But Manhunter is, controversially, I think it's my favorite Hannibal Lecter movie, even though it's got Brian Cox. Homegrown hero Brian Cox.
Yeah,
homegrown. Hannibal Lecter.
And William Peterson of CSI.
Yeah, not seen it. So all I know William Peterson from is this film.
That's so weird.
And Tom Noonan as the creepy serial killer.
And Stephen Lang.
It's got a
It's got a great cast.
It's a really good. It's a great film.
Yeah.
And it's of its time, but in a fun way where you watch it now. And the scene with Inagata Davida playing in the background is probably one of my favorite scenes in film. I love that scene. So I'd say definitely watch Manhunter I mean, he's got loads of good films though. He really does. Just not this one.
Yeah.
Don't watch Miami Vice either. I don't think that one looks good. But...
No. I mean, The Insider, nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay at the Oscars. I mean, for me, Collateral is my favorite Michael Mann movie.
Heat's really good. Heat's excellent. I don't know if you've seen Heat, but
I've not. But I've heard it's one of one of the pinnacle crime movies.
Yeah, it's fantastic. See, he did. This film was strange for him because he never revisited this. Yeah,
none of these other movies come close to the style or genre or anything near this. And it was his first major film. He'd been nominated for the Palme d'Or for his previous movie Thief, and then this was kind of, I think, his big break.
Yeah,
and then he was
whiffed it completely.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a clash of subject and director because I mean, all his classic films are crime films. They're all really fucking good. So, and I'm sure you can. like improvised scenes and dialogue for crime films. Especially if you've got a hand in actually writing the story, which this is obviously based on a book. So I think his methods and maybe his personal style just fucking did not work for this.
And
Another reason.
Plus all the
plus all the other bad stuff that happened.
Yeah. I can imagine that after this movie, Michael Mann went to TV and kind of refined his method, because TV is obviously shot very differently.
I mean, he created Miami Vice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. He might have directed an episode or two, like you see.
Sorry, mate, he never directed any episodes, and he only wrote one of them.
Ah, well, there you go.
He just created it. Creator and executive producer.
Well,
It's
enough.
about two guys in Miami and the drugs in a boat. Right, bye.
Roll up their suit sleeves. See ya. Right. It's time.
It is time
to cross the border.
to move on.
Yeah. We're heading to our old frenemy to the south.
Yeah. Our old rivalry to the south, let's call it.
Friendly rivalry.
Friendly rivalry.
Our old frenemy to the south, England. I have no idea what we're going to watch there. Because there's a lot. There is a lot of film.
Yeah, there is a lot.
We are going to have the pick of the litter when it comes to films, horror films.
Sounds like a good plan.
Maybe we'll become best friends and we'll end the friendly rivalry and we'll just be friends.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
I did not know what you were going to say to that at all. Fuck him. Freedom!
Well, Donald, I think it's time you start the engine. We get the hell out of Wales.
Right, okay, I'll do my best Scott then. Let's get the hell out of here. My name's Glaken Trismegistus.
Okay.
Are you...
And I'm Eva.
Where's Molisar?
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.